Welcome back to Grand Slam Sports Baseball, and the season is finally over.
It is.
My name is Charles Foster, and I'm joined here with
Jay Saj.
In the World Series, I mean, I am so happy right now. If you are, Arlington, Texas, it's been 59 years. They have been looking for it forever. I remember watching a dad the other day crying, watching that video, cried more than his own daughter's birth, they said. This is a big moment for sports. How are you feeling after this? After the Rangers won it all?
I don't know how to feel because my picks were wrong along the way. It kind of pained me a little bit, but I mean, they deserve this.
Yes.
They 100% deserve this. I believe they were the longest tenured team that hadn't won it yet.
Yes, the longest team to not have won one.
I believe San Diego's next in line now.
San Diego
Padres.
And Brewers are tied at 54,
Yeah.
55.
Yeah. So this city deserves this. Texas deserves this. I 100% believe they were the best team over the course of the playoffs. So they 100%.
Undefeated on the road.
I mean, they didn't lose the game. That's crazy to me. How do you not lose a game on the road?
I mean, their motto coming into the season, come in and take it, and that's exactly what they did. This is the definition of a complete team. They had great hitting. They had great pitching. They still didn't even have their ace for the entire year of Jacob deGrom. I mean,
it's when you get an A+ on a project you didn't even do.
Exactly. This team right here is the definition of perfection.
It is.
And unfortunately, I mean, I was Team Braves going throughout the entire year, but I mean, the Braves, they showed it sometimes, too much talent doesn't really matter that much if you cannot beat teams like the Phillies.
The D-backs just looked outmatched.
And they were outmatched.
That
was the consensus coming into the series. The D-backs are outmatched for most of the playoffs.
They were 84 and 78 for a reason.
Yeah, coming in, this was the team to beat. I said they were going to win it earlier in the year. I should have stuck with my pick. A lot of people were saying that, oh, you never said that. Well, yeah, Jacob deGrom was on this team. So, yeah, I was riding the hype train pretty hard. Unfortunately, I changed my pick. I would have looked really smart if I didn't. But this team, Arlington can be happy. Both sides of Texas are now happy. Obviously, Houston won it last year. It's big now that, 59 years in the making, man.
Yeah, they're not a football state anymore. They're a baseball state now.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
Look at them go.
I want to kind of look into some of the teams. Which team do you think will get one that hasn't got one in a while? I'm going to name off 4 teams that I know have not got one in a while. We, of course, have the longest since winning one, the Guardians, with, I want to say, almost 69, 70 years by now. I know we have the Padres and the Brewers between 55 on both of them. And then the Rays, they're at 20, but they've still never won one before. Which of those 4 teams do you think is going to take one home first?
San Diego.
Think San Diego? I think
maybe even next year.
I think I'm going to go with San Diego as well. I think that team is they're the most set.
They have a small window of the next 2 or 3 seasons to possibly win it. If they don't win it then it's going to be another 10, 15 years.
It depends, though, because we're going through another Juan Soto fiasco where he's looking like he's going to be a Yankee by either the end of the year or midway through next year.
Come here, buddy.
So, we'll get into that in a little bit. But, free agency's coming right hand. We've already talked about some of our free agent picks from the league. But let's look at something that wasn't really popular until, the Shohei Ohtani era. International free agents. First one that I got here is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He has obviously been
mouthful.
He's been one of the best pitchers. He has won the Japanese version of the Cy Young Award 3 years going. He is currently in the Japanese playoffs right now, where I'm pretty sure he pitched last night. I did not know how well he did. I never got to look at it, but he's been the big name. He's the next Shohei, the next Kodai Senga.
Dodgers.
Do you think he's a Dodger? Think it's set in stone pretty much?
It's got to be. You think, right?
Yeah. Most of these people I'm going to be naming off internationally, most of them have already been in talks with a lot of other teams.
The big teams, especially.
Some of these did surprise. The Dodgers definitely surprised me. They're not a team that normally goes international to find their players. A lot of their players are American. So it was definitely or Hispanic. So for them to go down to Asia was definitely not something that was on my bingo card for free agency this year.
Yeah.
Looking in at another pick, of course, we have Shōta Imanaga. He is, of course, another big pick. We don't really know much about him. He's currently ineligible to become a free agent, but he's being listed. So there's a possibility, so we're going to talk about it. One of the best lefties coming into free agency, which is rare. You do not get a lot of good lefties. Yeah. He played with Japan in the World Baseball Classic, played great. Do you have a team that you think he's going to go to?
He's a Red Sox.
Think he's a Red Sox? We know the Red Sox, they have always had a good international staff. Their international signings are always good. Masataka Yoshida coming into this offseason. They really like to find players and get them from internationally. So I really think that would be a good fit for him. They have a team full of lefties. They have Chris Sale, who they're going to have for another year. Having him alongside that, and I still think that they are the favorite for Julio Arias, who we're going to go over in a little bit. I think that having 3 lefties, that's going to be something that, that's going to be what I call a Yankees killer. I mean, that right there is a big way to stick it to your rivals. I mean,
Don't do that, man.
The Yankees are a team that they hit very well against righties, but lefties, it's a kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
So going into a team like that, against 3 lefties, if you have a 4-game series, you're going against lefties 3 of the 4 games most likely.
Yankees are getting swept or something.
That's a problem. So I think that Red Sox, I think they're going to go for the Yankees killer lineup.
Agreed.
Last person I'm going to talk about, this is a Cuban, Yariel Rodríguez. Personally, this one's been more of a surprise pick. His name's been floating around my White Sox lately, mostly because his agent is the same one as Cespedes, who is in a AAA, and then of course Luis Robert Jr. We have been seeing him a lot. He's been kind of looking like he's going to be going to the league. He's also ineligible right now, but same situation as Shōta. Played in Japan. He's from Cuba. Same agent as the 2 White Sox Cubans that came in. Do you think that the White Sox is a place for him, or do you think he goes to more of a contender? If so, what team?
I could see the White Sox for sure, because like what you mentioned with the agents, it's definitely plausible. But you're going to have your Dodgers, you're going to have your Yankees, you're going to have those big teams trying to go for an international name.
I'm interested to see the Astros, how they play for him.
That's true.
Dusty Baker was very big he was big in the Spanish scene, but with him retiring, are they going to keep on going after those international prospects, or they kind of take a step back and just be less ambitious? I think that the White Sox, this is a team that it's the South Side of Chicago. It's a very Hispanic area, and playing with people that he's played with on the World Baseball Classic, of course, Luis Robert, Yoan Moncada, Cespedes, all of them on the Cuban national team. It would just be like playing in another team that he's already played in this whole time. I think it would be a good fit, especially for a team that needs pitching.
100%.
Looking down at pitching, once again, if you need an ace, now is the time. Because look at this list of pitchers this free agency. This entire top list, well, minus Noah Syndergaard, if we put Blake Snell up in this top row, all of these guys could ace your team. Shohei Ohtani, I think he's going to stay an Angel this year. I just don't see him leaving with Mike Trout staying. Okay. But you have Aaron Nola, Urias, if he gets past his charges, Clayton Kershaw, Blake Snell down there, who probably should be Cy Young and still might be Cy Young winner. Who do you think here, who do you think is going to move? What are some people that you see here?
I mean, like you said, if Urias gets past charges, one of these Dodgers is going to go somewhere else. Maybe Syndergaard. I could see him leaving. I mean, the Padres have Snell and Darvish. I think they both stay if the Padres can fish out enough money for it.
I think that I don't think they're going to be able to keep. I think Darvish might dip because he was getting paid $20 million. I don't see him taking that much of a dip.
I'm not sure about Montas with the Yankees. I'm not sure if he'll stay. Hopefully Severino stays. I like Severino.
He did have a really off season, though.
He did have an off season, but I still believe in him to be really good. Jordan Montgomery, also a previous Yankee, played well for the Cardinals. He could be a really good starting pitcher if he goes anywhere else.
He just won a World Series. That picture is off. I do not know why he has a Cardinals hat on, but he just won a World Series. I mean, he's going to bring that lefty. And this is the weird part, because I remember last year we came in and the big thing was bats. Like we had Aaron Judge, Dansby Swanson, Xander Bogaerts, some of the best bats in all of baseball, and now we have some of the best pitchers, and not just pitchers, lefties. This is a rare commodity in baseball.
Nola's going to stay, I believe.
I think Nola will leave.
You think so?
I think he's going to St. Louis. That's my prediction. I think St. Louis could use him. They shell out money for him.
Kershaw's going to stay. He's a Dodger for life. Come on.
Dodger for life.
Sonny Gray, I mean, I could see him leaving the Twins for sure. What do you think? He's
about 33 years old, I want to say, 32. He had one of his best seasons of his career. I think he was the ERA leader from most of the year. I think he lost it towards the end. I think that a team that needs consistency, I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but like a mediocre team or maybe like a back-end pitcher for a top team.
I mean, you look up here, you see a lot of similar hats.
Yes.
Dodgers, 3 of them. Padres, 2. Yankees, 2. Cardinals, 2. Well, I mean, Montgomery was not a Cardinals. Rangers, 2. There you go. Twins, 2.
It's definitely.
How does it affect a team losing possibly 2 or 3 pitchers?
If you're in the Dodgers scenario, you better figure something out, because this could be a problem. Because Syndergaard, I think he actually left the Dodgers coming into this year. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he finished off with The Guardians, and I'm pretty sure he got dropped. So he's not a Dodger. I know that for a fact. He got traded at the deadline. This picture must be from the beginning of the year. My fault. Clayton Kershaw, I don't think they need to worry too much about him leaving. He's been on the Dodgers since like 02, 03. Urias, he's the main problem leaving. But I mean, at that point with the Chargers right now, I think they're just okay with just getting him out of there.
What's your thoughts on the White Sox?
Giolito, of course, he just finished. He once again another unupdated picture. He was also traded at the deadline for. I want to say he went with the Angels. I think he finished the season with the Guardians. I think he was a part of their drop. Giolito, I think he goes somewhere. I do not know where yet. I think it'll be a small market team that needs a pitcher. Maybe like I don't know, like a Royals, like a team that like really needs an ace. That's what I've been talking about. Is that this right here is the best time for you to find an ace. Now the Orioles, I mean not the Orioles, the Royals have kind of looked like, oh, they like Cole Reagans. They really like Brady Singer. But I mean, you could have someone here, a veteran that you don't normally get very often in free agency. You do not get a veteran that's willing to go to a bad team. So I think it'd be a good pickup for Giolito to go.
You're talking about some
team.
of these teams, throwing some teams out here that could get some of these names. What's the main team that should try to go out and get a number one in your belief?
Baltimore. Baltimore was a team that was contender. We said it a few weeks ago that this team would not be able to go anywhere because they don't have pitching. And exactly like I said, they went nowhere. They didn't even win a game. So in that situation, you simply just need an ace. They
lost to the World Series champion.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
Urias, if they can somehow get him. Urias. I think Nola's kind of past his acing days, but he'd be better than whatever they got going on down there. Blake Snell, he's definitely he's in fact, in my opinion, is one of the best pure aces on this list.
You can't even include Shohei in this because he can't pitch.
Yeah. Shohei can't even pitch, exactly. So Blake Snell is the best ace on this list. So Blake Snell, if you are the Orioles, pay the man. But also you got to be careful because if you pay too much, then you're going to lose the Adleys, the Gunners.
Market team.
Those small markets, man.
It's tough. Especially in leagues like the MLB and NBA where it's different than the NFL and how the cap works.
Yeah.
Because in the MLB and the NBA, it favors the bigger market teams more than it does the NFL. So that's why the small market teams have to be careful with how much money they throw out there.
Your window is very short, especially even if you're in the Orioles shoes where their window would technically be long, but they got to pay all those people. So you got to be careful with what you sign. Don't get too ambitious. Looking on to, I think this is kind of like the biggest talk in a lot of sports every single year. New York. You always got to talk about the New York teams. I mean, New York has not been the best place for sports lately. New York is known for their success and known for their rings, their championships, and they've just not been getting them lately. What is next for both, not only the Yankees, but also the Mets? Like, what do you do in this situation?
I mean, with the Yankees, obviously you have Judge locked down for the next few seasons.
Yeah, the next almost decade.
Stanton should be a goner,
probably. In
my opinion. Stanton does not fit the team the way me and the rest of the fans envisioned him to fit along with this squad. The Yankees, they still have a decent squad, but they need to make some big moves, some splash moves in free agency to get back to the pinnacle of baseball. The Mets, I don't know where they can go. They keep buying these top-tier talents, and they just consistently struggle to be a playoff team.
They finally threw in the hat, though. I think
that's true.
We talk about it in the NFL segment today whenever we were recording that. And the issue was with some teams like the Bears, they don't know how to throw in the hat. The Mets, that was one of my fears, is that they're just going to sit there with their massive payroll and just not. But they got rid of Scherzer, got rid of Verlander, probably going to lose Alonso coming this offseason. It's just time to reset.
They need to just rebuild, take a year or two of just...
Maybe 3, maybe even 4.
Maybe just, not being as good as you want to be, as a New York team. But build up that farm system. Yeah. Get something positive going like the Orioles did. And, with being a big market team like the Mets... That could be just like that. Yeah,
if you get something going, people are going to want to play for you. If I was a baseball player, I'd love to play for the Mets. I mean, New York, Big Apple, that's what you want to be. Okay, and you're going to play with some of the best, like Francisco Lindor, one of my favorite shortstops. In fact, he is my favorite shortstop. Pete Alonso, when he's there, he's a great player.
I'm just not sure where the Yankees can go. I mean, they're consistently decent, but they're never at that great level.
The Yankees, number one, need to free up some cap space, get rid of Giancarlo Stanton. He's getting paid almost as much as Judge was to hit I think he hit 194, something like that. I mean, that's atrocious. No matter how hard he hits the ball, he's got to hit the ball to do it. And an outfield. I feel like that was the issue is, you have Judge in the right field. At center field, they got rid of Bader. They had Isaiah Kiner-Falefa playing left field most of the year.
That's a problem because he's an infielder.
He plays everything.
He can play third base, short,
they even had him, I think, at pitcher at one game one time. Like he pitched a few innings, and he plays catcher as well. I know he also has that in his. This is a team like they have like Rizzo. I don't remember who. I don't know if Golden Gloves come out yet, but he's Golden Glove contender. You have Volpe, looks great. You have Judge, looks great.
Yep.
Glaber's great. Higashioka is a great catcher.
You started your pitching with Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, who's probably going to win Cy Young.
And what's his name? The other starting pitcher.
Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, and someone else as well.
Carlos Rodon.
Rodon.
I'm a little bit salty about Rodon leaving the White Sox, but he was atrocious in a Yankees uniform. So if they can get him back, and hopefully he uses that $36 million a year they're paying him.
Hopefully.
He can be a great pitcher for this team. This team has the pieces. They just need to build around. They cannot put all their money in 4 or 5 places. You cannot have IKF playing left field. And I don't even know who their center field was to end off the year because...
Don't ask me because I stopped watching because I couldn't care anymore because they were just consistently struggling in every single game.
I want to say it was like, I can't remember his name. It was like Estevan Florial or something like that.
Actually, I think you're right.
And he obviously that's not a Yankee center fielder. So make a move. This team's fine. They have money. They have prestige. They have the state. They have the weather. They'll be fine. It's just both of these teams will be fine. Mets are going to take a little bit longer than the Yankees are for sure.
Absolutely agree.
But it's the time of rebuilding. I mean, it's my favorite part of all baseball season. Baseball season's over. It's going to be a really lonely 120-some days until we get some good baseball.
At least it's shorter than most sports. Like, look at the NFL. Yeah. It's like 200-something days.
Yeah, we get some spring stuff going on coming soon. But that's going to be all for MLB for a little bit. Not just this episode. It might be a few weeks.
We'll get free agency once it starts
Once free agency comes back, we'll be back. But that's going to be all from MLB from us. My name is Charles Foster.
Jay Saj.
Have a good night.